I am doing a series of short clips on selecting and implementing technology in transportation and logistics. This is something I've been passionate about my entire career. I was so passionate about it, I changed from operating transportation and logistics companies to assisting them with streamlining their businesses and technologies 13 years ago. I'll be breaking down, at least at a high level, the processes that we utilize here at GLCS. The more you know about the industry and technology utilized in the industry, the better off you'll be. But I caution you to remain humble, make no assumptions in any initiatives that you take moving forward. Last time I spoke about stating your case, including writing a project charter. In part 3, I'll talk about defining the opportunity. Let's look at clearly defining our requirements first, as this can be the long pole with large projects. I've heard many influencers out there say you really don't need to do this today. For small organizations, they may be right. You can dip your head and charge forward as it's a risk and reward scenario. The larger your organization is, the more risk you're adopting. But can your organization handle a large project failure? This is your choice. I am one that typically is risk averse, and I don't like the idea of avoiding work when I can avoid risk. Did you know that 70% of all projects fail? And 19% of all projects are complete failure. 11% of project failures are attributed to poor management, and the largest reason for project failure is that there are too many features being implemented. So if you look at a transportation management system, with all the features and functions within a transportation management system, that's a huge project with so many features, and is a risk that you attempt to mitigate by compressing those features and functions. But they are complex projects that are failure prone, and we mitigate those by increasing management, increasing communication, and reducing the feature rollout as much as possible, and understanding requirements as much as possible. So upfront work reduces the chance of failure. With that being said, you weigh out the risks and rewards based upon the project you're looking at and determine the level of requirements that you want to gather. We look at requirements in 3 different tiers. The first tier, we'll grab them verbally from the client. We don't do this light of a project that often, as it typically results in failures. A second tier, we'll grab them verbally from a client and then go through and confirm them by doing process reviews with their staff. This is more successful, but it does result in missed items, and those missed items typically get identified during implementation and potentially at go live, although we hopefully don't have too many of those. On a third tier, we'll review all processes and procedures and produce a current state process map, including descriptions, and define where there are potential areas of improvement. This can be a substantial amount of work. There can be a hybrid approach between the second and third tier, where you review in depth the more common processes and don't review in depth the less common processes. The more experience you have in doing these process reviews and the more experience you have in the business, the better the deliverables will be. From these deliverables, we build the opportunity. We build the documentation we can take to the prospective vendors. But prior to going to the vendors, you'll need to clearly define what exactly you want. And that's the whole idea of this project up to this point, is to understand, and I'll go through a recap here in a moment, but to really get to what you want to become, what you consider, so not only what you want, but what you're going to consider a successful project to be. You may not be, at this point, you may not be completely aware of what's out there in the way of a solution or available solutions and what they can do, but in your mind, what is a successful end to this project? Be aware that this can or this actually will change as you move forward, but we need to paint a target at this point, saying this is what you want to accomplish. So in recap of part 1 through 3, we've stated our why we're moving forward with this project. We've established the who is involved in a project's charter. We've created the beginning of a project plan, and we've created a regular and medium for communicating updates. And we've researched the current state to the point of collecting requirements and dissecting them to define exactly what we need in the way of a new solution or processes to move forward. Our next step will begin to package this up to review our options to move forward. Thanks for listening.